Hello everyone. Today I am here with the new video on a test called chi-square test. Chi-square test is a non-parametric test which is designed to understand the association between two variables. There are different applications of chi-square test, but today we are going to talk about one application of chi-square which is called association between the variable, which we are going to find out by finding out the observed and expected frequency. In front of you, you can see the data. And this particular question, as you can see in the screen, that this particular question is talking the uh, about some people, as you can see in the screen, that there are 95 respondents in the data, and they were asked about whether they found TV channels primarily as entertaining, educational, or waste of time. So the respondents were categorized by gender. In the question, they are asking, is there any relationship between the opinion and the gender of the person? And they are asked us to take a 5% level of significance. So, how to solve this question? So, if you can see, I'm scrolling down my window. I can see that there are 95 observation in my screen because the first column is the first row of the column A and B are telling about the captions of the column, which is gender and opinion about the TV shows. And rest you can see that we are talking about the male and the opinion. So for first respondent who is male and his opinion about TV show is they found it entertaining. Similarly, we have 95 observation. So how to start with this thing? There are various steps to that while we are conducting a statistical test. The first step we go is that we need to set up a null hypothesis. So the first step is to set up a hypothesis. So H naught is considered as my null hypothesis, as you all must be aware. So first of all, I'll try to uh, write it down for the people who are comparatively new to this hypothesis testing. So the H0, yeah, H naught is my null hypothesis. I can go to the font and normal. So the null hypothesis is there is no association between the gender and the opinion about TV shows. Or we can say that opinion about TV shows is independent of gender. So, as we all know that for every null hypothesis, there is an alternative hypothesis. So, what will be the alternative hypothesis in this thing is this situation? The alternative hypothesis in this situation would be that there is an association between gender and the opinion about TV shows. Now, in step two, we have to find out the observed frequencies. Observed frequencies simply means whatever data we have collected, we have to convert this particular data into the cross tabulation. So, how I can do that? I will simply go and select all the data. And moreover, one thing I want to put it here that whatever question I am solving here, it is just confined for the two variables, right? So two variable at a time I'm taking. So I have selected both columns and I will go to the insert. Within insert, I'll go to the pivot table, and in pivot table, I'll select from table range. So this where this is available in insert, within insert, it is a pivot table, and in pivot table from table range. So you can see that the data which we have selected is already seen here as selected. as you can see it. And what he's asking, the system is asking whether I want the output in new worksheet or existing worksheet. By default, new worksheet is always chosen. If we put existing worksheet, this bar is activated and you can see cursor right now here. So wherever I'll put my cursor, my output will be started from here. I'll put simple OK. So a new pane is open in a black color. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag gender as my row, right? So you can say the moment I have dragged it to the rows, two rows has already been created by female and male. And the second variable of the question is opinion about TV shows. The moment I am putting it in the values, so it has counted the values about the opinion of both female and male. So by this, what kind of information we are telling, that there are 36 females and there are 59 males. But we don't know that how many number of females have given their opinion about TV show as entertaining, as educational, or as waste of time. Similarly, it's true for male. For getting that information, we need to put this opinion about TV show into the column form. So as you can see that a small table of 3 by 2, 3 columns and 2 rows, or 2 by 3 matrix is ready. So what we can do, we can just copy this data without uh, the first column, we can just copy it here. So now you can say that uh, this data is there with me with gender, with all the 3 categories. So if I need to read this data, how I will read it? That there are 12 females who have found education TV shows as educational. There are 7 females who have found this as entertaining, and there are 17 females who have found the TV shows as waste of time. Two, three things you have to take care at this point of time. First of all, because this data was generated by me, it's dummy data. So whenever you are generating the dummy data, better you write every category once and then copy paste it. Because in case you have different spelling or you use different case letter, a pivot table will make it a different column. For example, in one column I'm writing entertaining, and other column I'm writing entertainment. So pivot table will consider it as a different category. So entertaining, educational, waste of time, write once and you just copy it at several cells. Similar practice you will do with the male and female. So by chance, if you write somewhere male as males, then it will consider it as a third category. That is something which you have to take care. Second thing is that, let's say if you forgot to put some particular data against some category, so it will come at 0. At this basic level of question, this 0 doesn't matter. But in advanced level of chi-square, we cannot have that cell. So we have to do the clubbing of sometimes some cells. So, or we have to use the Yate correction. That is something which is of higher level. Since we are making a basic video on chi-square, so I'm not going into such details. So what is this table? We can write it like observed frequency. So this is the actual data we have find out. Now from observed frequency, we will make another, we will copy this once and we'll paste it again and we will make a new table which is called expected frequency. Now in expected frequency, the one thing I need to do, I need to clear these metrics because I have to calculate certain frequencies. So the formula for calculating the expected frequency is very simple. So whatever cell value you have to find out, like in this case, I need to find out the value of how many females have opinion about TV serial as educational. So what I will do, I'll go to this particular cell. I will simply write equal to 36 into 34 divided by 95. So it can come in decimal, that is not an issue. So what does that mean? That whatever cell we are choosing to give expected frequency, we have to take the total of that particular row where that cell is existing and the total of that particular column where that cell is existing divided by the grand total, which is 95. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to uh, put quickly all the values. 36 into 27 divided by 95. So what I will do, I will just choose it as a number. So in that case, it will be just two-digit thing. Then equal to 36 into 34 divided by 95. Similarly, 34 equal to 34 into 59 divided by 95 equal to 27 into 59 divided by 95. Similarly, equal to 34 into 59 divided by 95. So, one thing you need to take care is that every time the total will be same as 36. Let's find out whether it's coming 36 or 59 or not. What I will do, I'll just put equal to sum, and what I will try to do is do the formula and then we see that whether it's come 36. So you can see that it's copying similar. Similarly, if I copy this formula, so it will come 59. So you can see that there is no change in the total of the values. Similarly, you can find out column wise, it will come same. So the bottom line is that there is no change in the formula, in the total of the values, but their distribution has changed. Earlier there were 12 female and now it's 12.88. Though it doesn't make sense that ways that there cannot be 12.88 females, but this is the way we do it. Now the next step is that we find out the difference. And not only the difference, but the square of it. So what we will do, again, I'll copy it. Now this time we don't need the total column, so we can remove it completely. Or I'll take it again, just the upper portion. Because at this point of time, I don't require this thing. So in difference, what I'm going to do, I'll make just one formula where I'll put equal to observed minus expected, expected. Cap means I need to square it. So cap is the is the thing which is given on the top of the 6 and 2. So this is the square of the difference, and we can just further drag it everywhere and we can drag it down as well. So this is something which is the third table or the third step we do it. Now the next step is we are going to find out the chi-square value. For finding out chi-square value, I will write the formula here for expected. It's row into column divided by row total. I should write row total into column total divided by grand total so that you can remember it. Right? Now we need to find out the chi-square value. So what we will do, there is a simple formula that now we need to make the total of all the columns. So I'll write just sum and I'll just take it this thing and then enter. Now this is the value which we got. This chi-square value is also known as the test statistic. So either you can say it chi-square value or you can say it a test statistic. So this is the value which we got after calculation. Now we need to compare this value from table value, which is called critical values, or we can use the p-value method. So there are two methods of accepting or rejecting the null hypothesis. So first we will do the table value method. For table value method, we need to have another parameter also to understand, which is degree of freedom. So in chi-square test, the formula for degree of freedom is r minus 1 into c minus 1. So in this particular scenario, in this particular situation, we have two rows. So 2 minus 1 is 1 into, and we have three columns. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So the formula is 2. So in our case, degree of freedom is 2, right? And test statistics value is 56.33. Now we need to find out the critical value. Critical value, or we can say the table value. These words are used interchangeably. Uh, Thankfully, with chi-square, we have this kind of a formula like chi-square.inv.irt, where we write probability. Now, what is this probability? Probability is the level of alpha which they have asked you. In this question, they have asked, if you can see that there is a 5% level of significance they have asked. So that means your alpha would be 0.05. So alpha value would be 0.05 and your degree of freedom are 2. You just two arguments it requires, and you will just put enter and you can put it to 2-digit level. Now as per the rule, when our calculated value is more than the table value, we generally reject the null hypothesis, or we can say that we are failed to accept the null hypothesis. So in this case, our test statistic value is greater than the table value, which is clearly 56.33 is greater than 5.99. In that case, H0 or H naught is rejected, or we can write we failed to accept null hypothesis. So what does that mean? According to this, there is an association between gender and their opinion about the TV shows, because then we are going to accept our null hypothesis, H1 is accepted. Similarly, there is another method to find out the acceptance or rejection of the null hypothesis. So we have another formula with us, which is called chi dot dist dot rt. Because chi-square is a right square test, so here they are asking p-value में x. X is nothing but your chi-square calculated value, comma, you know that degree freedom is 2. So we are just press it. This number is very small actually. That's why it's appearing like this. If we do it, number thing, then it will come at 0. Now we have a rule that we compare the p-value with alpha. So in this case, alpha or level of significance is 0.05. So if we see that p-value is low than the alpha. So p-value is lower than alpha value. That means it is 0.00 is less than the 0.05, as you can see on the screen. So that will result in rejection of H0 is rejected. Whatever method we use, our decision should not be changed. So in both ways, I have told you, we failed to accept the null hypothesis. Right. Now, I have also made one of the another type of question I have given you. Sometimes maybe the data in the question is not given in this way, like, and the data is given directly in the cross tabulation way. Now, in this type of question, like the question is like this in this particular situation, I'm just showing you the question. A certain drug is claimed to be effective in curing a cold, and data was taken from the 500 person, and their reactions were noted. So there are three reactions: helpful reaction and no effect, and we can see the cross tab is given. So I have, and there is level of significance of 10%. I have done this question deliberately because in this question there is one step is less, which is I just finished this thing. Step 3 is expected frequency. First, let me do this and then I will tell you how to solve that question. Step 4 is the difference between expected, square the difference between, square the difference between expected, observed and expected frequency. Then step 5 is sum of table, difference table, which will give chi-square value. And then we compare it, compare chi-square value with table value. Either you do this or or use calculate p-value and compare it with alpha. Whenever p-value is lower than the alpha value, then in those cases, our null hypothesis will be rejected. So step 7 will be decision. This is how you do the chi-square question. Now, let's say, coming back to the point, when we are saying that, let's say directly this particular cross tab is given. So this cross tab is nothing. It's the observed frequency which you have given. So that means in this type of question, directly you are at the step 2. Step 1 is there. So there is no need to calculate the observed frequency. It's already given. And directly using this particular frequency, you can design your expected frequency by using the formula row total into column total divided by grand total. The rest of the story is same. So good luck, and I hope you have learned something. I'm stopping here, and we'll be discussing some new tests in different videos. Thank you so much.